Hello, everyone. Sorry about the way that first part ended. Ran out of storage space. So I'm back again, and I need to make a correction. I'll ask the question in a minute. The question is, how do you know if what you are seeing or hearing is true? That's the question. How do you know if it's from God? What if God tells you something so outrageous and it caused such an uproar? But you can best believe Jesus made uproars. He did. His prophets, his warners, his messengers, his watchers, they made uproars. So before I do that, though, I have to correct something. The video part 1 of this is actually the 8th video. I went and counted. And this one is the 9th one. So today is still September 18th, 2016, and a little time has passed. I was going to read some of the adjustments to you, but Father told me to make this one point one more time again, is the way that you can know something is real. The way that you can know something is true is, number one, take it to Him. Now, what happens if you pray and I get one thing and you get another thing? What happens if that happens, or when it happens? The first thing, and nothing has changed, pray for a sign. And Father, if that is you and He tells you it is Him, just believe it. Completely believe it. Another thing that I wanted to bring out too, as well, is, somebody might just be watching part 2 for the first time. So there is a part 1 to this, but my name is Amina, and I'm a full-time missionary, and I've been in the full-time service since 2009. So I've seen a lot of things, and there are people out there that God does talk to. There are people that Father is using. He is calling us into our work, and just do what He tells you to do and pray about everything. The first part, I was talking about this holy writing called The Adjustments, and I was going to read a couple of commandments from it. And I think the best way for me, and what this is he said that this is a new guideline, a new code of conduct that He is going to have established in His kingdom. Pray about that. Pray about that, okay? So anyway, I said I was going to read wherever He wanted me to start, and I'm going to start with chapter 1, and I guess I'll just read till He says it, but I'll tell you the verses, okay? And so anyway, chapter 1 says, verse 1, they choose to make themselves God over God. Verse 2, the humans act like they did in Noah's days. Verse 3, the Babylonians are wicked, demonic, and choose to hold on to their demonic and wicked ways. Verse 4, they are very arrogant. They choose to hold on to things that God gives them and refuses to do what God tells them to do. 5, they swear they are subjects of my kingdom, but only prove themselves loyal to their own twisted thinking and devious ways. Verse 6, I have sent my prophets and angels to them with the seal of my approval on their foreheads. And all the wicked do is see their own wicked reflections in their eyes of the chosen ones. 7, they are rotten teeth that I will snatch out and throw down in rotting flesh. I hope you guys are praying, because this is some serious stuff. Serious stuff. Verse 8, when they finally appeal to me for mercy, I will send them with mean-bearded oppressors. 9, I will even take away their language from them. This is when slavery starts. 10, I will force them into cannibalism. This is what's going to happen during the famine. 11, they will look at each other and see the other as a good food source. 12, they will yearn for vegetables, fruit, and wine, but their daily ration will be sweet bread, fruit, and sugary water. 13, in disbelief they will live tormented, oppressed lives. Chapter 2, and then I'm going to skip down to 16. It says, the pretty and handsomely vile ones will be nothing more than sex slaves, never marrying or finding comfort. This is for people who God has blessed with beauty, and they don't use it to bless others, but they use it to actually become predators to people. This men and women. 17, that's what he told me, and I'm supposed to clarify that. 17, because they use their gift of beauty to trample on the hearts and feelings of others. 18, their beauty will become a curse by their own hand and thinking. 19, I, Baba, will continue to send the wicked to their eternal destinations. 20, for some will enter into all 7 gates of Hades non-stop. 21, others will know the place of forgetfulness, while yet another will suffer from me placing my finger on them. And you'll notice that a lot of people are going to funerals, a lot of people are having difficulties. As was said in the other video, we're all going through storms, but for some people, it's actually discipline for them. 22, woe to anyone who resisted in a deliberate, direct fashion towards the anointed ones. 23, this is really important. I'm supposed to stop at 23, but before I read 23, this is why I make an appeal to, if God or when God calls you to do something and a lot of people don't like it, most of the times it's the right thing to do. Just make sure, ask God to give you the courage, the steadfastness, and do not fear anybody or anyone. 23, they tried to reset the destiny of the angels in their midst. That was it. I mean, it's more to it. It's a lot more to it, but because of time, I can't go on. But these are what's called the adjustments. There are also other writings where he talks about the blessings of those who do what is right, how we will be in complete jubilee constantly. I'm supposed to say this. It talks about the marriage feast, and what it really means is a literal marriage feast. Literally. Literal marriage between Jesus Christ and someone. Pray about that. Pray about that. If this is your first time watching, I want to ask you, how do you know if what I'm saying is true or not? Are you just going to say, well, that don't even sound right. I ain't never heard anything like that. Yeah, that's kind of because God can tell you new things, and we're in a day of new things. If this video is not for you, please just click it off. If it's not for you, please just don't even watch anymore. But there are actually some people who have been commissioned to write, who are having experiences with angels, who are kicking demons' butts at night. If you're one of those people and you're watching this and you've seen the comments from the other pages, I'll reiterate again, the fight is not ours. The fight is not ours. Do not allow and this is what Father's telling me. Everything I'm telling you, it's not coming from me. May He judge me. This is what God told me. Amina, you are like a wrecking ball. The wrecking ball is enforced. So when you have a wrecking ball, in some countries they have a wrecking ball to demolish buildings. The wrecking ball does not focus on the size of the building, the thickness of the concrete of what is tearing down. It focuses on the swing of the one who's giving it momentum. A wrecking ball is someone or something that has been reinforced with so much concrete, no matter how big what it's getting ready to knock down is, it is trained and it knows where to hit. Where to hit. There is a strategy to what God has for you to do. So that was something that I was supposed to share. Any dreams, any visions that you're having that you don't understand, just don't dismiss it. Please pray to God about it. I don't want to ramble about a lot of things, but someone asked me, I want to mention this too, about the war. And I wanted to just give you this tidbit. The war that's coming with the blacks and the First Nations on one side and the whites and the Hispanics on the other side, and how all other nations that think that they're going to be casual observers, they're going to be so hungry, food is going to be offered from both sides. But Father told me that the gangs, the Crips, and they kind of showed this I think it was earlier this year, 2016, with Freddie Gray, or maybe it might have been last year. I'm sorry, I totally don't even know. I'm just speaking off the cuff with this one. But that how, if you notice, the Nation of Islam, the Bloods and the cousins, I guess, how they came together in solidarity. And that's how it's going to be. And that's why a lot of people that's getting let out of prison now are actually future soldiers. Now, if you were to ask me whose hands the victories will be in, that's something that you have to pray about. That's something that you have to pray about. And so, if anything that I said has offended you and you're just like, what the H is that girl talking about? Just remember the Apostle Paul. That's what Father told me. Amina, a person can have all the scriptures, but still not see. And that's why I myself, this is what Jesus is saying to me. He said, that's why I myself had to go to him and say, why are you persecuting me? And they really felt, and Paul really felt that, he was doing the right thing. This is not to put Paul down. Father had that recorded so that we may not fall into that. That's an example for us. If it can happen to him, someone that was schooled, his whole life was knowing the law, different languages. He had all of these other things, but he didn't have the insight until God gave him the insight to see who Jesus was. Make sure that you are not persecuting any of God's people. He feels very strongly about that. And if you start seeing that things are in your life that's falling apart, people dying around you, and your suffering has increased, you might want to take a look at the things that you're saying and the things that you're doing. When people get on this YouTube, I don't mean to sound preachy, but I'm supposed to say this. May judge me. But when people get on YouTube, they're looking for something. They're looking for something. So if you have had a particular experience and you know that it really was something that was authentic and from the throne of God, and you're supposed to say it, don't let because someone else opposes what you've seen or what God has showed you keep you from doing what's right. Don't walk in fear. Do not walk in fear. Walk in caution. Even now as I'm doing this video, I'm praying. I'm like, Father, let me say everything that you want me to say. And that way, for sure, security is yours. You will have an abundance of peace. And then God will show you, hey, I'm with you. I am with you. And that's all that matters. Because if the world be against you, then, and God is for you, don't matter. I'm going to officially say I like Barack Obama and I love Barack Obama. Since someone accused me of liking him and loving him, but I don't like him for the reasons that you may think. It is not because of his appearance. It's not because of the way he speaks. It's because how God feels about him and what God told me about him. God told me, Amina, and pray about this. If you don't want to pray about it, you'll never ever get it. He told me that he was a resurrected one. That's what Father told me. And that he was using him, I'm going to say it again. That he was using him to discipline the dark-hearted ones. Just like in Jesus' day, it was some people that couldn't see anything. The same people that he had blessed and was giving them all kinds of cures and miracles. This is when Barack Obama first came into office. Everybody loved him. Oh, Obama, yes, we can. But when he started doing some things that they didn't appreciate, they never tested the spirit. So Father allowed them to be stumbled. He purposely puts things there to stumble you. So those that are weak and those that are pebbles and those that are stragglers, like I said, that he came and they withered and it died out. But those that are like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? The stumbling block now becomes a stepping stone to a higher level of thinking. If God has told you not to like Barack Obama or whatever, do what God has told you. He knows what he's doing. But if he have told you to like him, to love him because he loved him, you better do that. That's not confusion. That's God. Because God can say what he wants to whomever he wants to, however he wants to. And time and reality will push all things into what is what. Okay? I hope I didn't confuse anybody. But if you're praying, prayer clears up all confusion. I'm telling you, it clears up all confusion. Pray about everything I said. Pray about the adjustments. First of all, ask God, are me and you good? You need to look up and say, God, am I okay? Because I can't ask about Amina and me and you not be okay. And people know. You know if you haven't been listening to him. You know if he told you to take a bowl of rice to your neighbor, he's giving you 5 bags of rice and you're not taking a bag of rice or even a bowl of rice. You know, and things start happening to you. He's not playing. You're not dealing with humans. Pray for courage. Pray for courage. Okay? All right. So I hope everything goes good with you. Maybe if this channel isn't for you, it's not for you. It's not for you. Everything is not for everybody. But I have to say what I'm supposed to. And that is, I do like Barack Obama. For the haters, I do like him. I love him. How about that? May God show us who's who when the dust all settles. When the dust all settles, because that's what matters. All right. Thank you. May God get the glory. Always.